All right, here we go.
trying to make a comeback with her new stand-up
So this one is by Sunny V2 about Ellen.
special, although its reviews have mostly been
Didn't she dip out of the country? Yeah, I heard she moved out.
terrible. She spends most of the
Wait,
special
wasn't she like best friends with Diddy?
responding to her being kicked out of showbiz.
I swear
which
she was
began
best friends
when
with
someone
Diddy.
posted just one single tweet. Right now, we all need a little kindness. You know, like Ellen DeGeneres always talks about. She's also notoriously one of the meanest people alive. Respond to this with the most insane stories you've heard about Ellen being mean. The tweet posted in March 2020 received bad enough replies to begin.
Where's the Diddy list at? Dude, I don't think we're actually gonna get it. I think like even if Trump releases the Diddy list, I feel like it's gonna be a watered down version. They're gonna destroy it before anyone gets close to it, I think.
Downfall. I worked at Real Food Daily, served her and Portia a brunch. She wrote a letter to the owner and complained about my chipped nail polish.
Wait, we already got the Diddy list? No, I mean like the, I meant the Epstein list, sorry. Did we get the Diddy list? Did we really? It's everyone that showed up at the Kamala rally. Dude, I really want all that shit to come out. Like the Epstein stuff and the Diddy stuff, it needs to come out. Absolutely needs to come out. Why are they hiding it from us? They work for us. Those people work for us. What are they doing?
Not that it was on her plate, but just that it was on my hand. I worked till closing the night before, and this was the next morn. Almost got me fired. The nail polish story was so unbelievable, the person who wrote it went on Inside Edition.
This former waitress claims she was threatened with a 2-week suspension after Ellen DeGeneres complained about, of all things, her chipped fingernail polish.
I remember just being like, really?
But the stories shared back on Twitter were only getting worse. I once worked at Warner Brothers. One day
Anyone here from the UK? Any UK people in chat?
I was in the elevator and Ellen and her entourage came in. Naturally, I held it for her and asked her what floor she was getting on. Her assistant answered 3rd floor.
Salty Snacks is me. She's yours now. Now she's your problem. You can keep her. No takesies backsies. No take backs.
30 minutes later, I got a call from my boss saying I was fired because I was harassing her. An old friend worked on her a lot and smiled and said good afternoon to her one day and she became unhinged. Who do you think you are? You don't look at me, yada yada. She said Portia was with her and seemed embarrassed and tried to calm her down. Has forever changed my opinion of her. The responses went on and on and on, all of which being compared to Ellen's classic catchphrase.
I always end each show by saying be kind to one another.
Audience member Dana DiMatteo then went public with her degrading experience on the show.
They tell you, you can't be smarter, funnier than Ellen. She's the comedian and the star, not you.
Don't be funnier than Ellen. That's gonna be hard considering she's not that funny to begin with.
Holy shit.
If you've been a comedian your
God.
whole life and you're afraid a random audience member will upstage you, maybe you're just not funny. Dana then revealed that Ellen's completely different when the cameras turn off.
How does the Ellen we see on TV compare to the Ellen you saw when the cameras stopped rolling?
Totally different.
Dude, power really messes with people. It's pretty crazy, actually.
Would only speak to the...
By the way, a couple of my key friends, they have ammunition to destroy me. And I purposely told them if I ever become like this, kind of like Ellen DeGeneres, I told them to destroy me.
Audience when the cameras were rolling. As soon as they turned the cameras off, she would...
You have to destroy me. It's your duty as my friend.
Would not even acknowledge the audience. She would just sit on the couch, basically.
Which was supported by Hedda Muscat, one of the show's former producers.
Toxic, phony, hypocrite, liar. That's what she is.
She agreed that things were different when the cameras weren't rolling.
We were told from the very beginning, don't talk to Ellen, don't do this, you can't, go into her office.
Like, they know where I live and stuff like that.
It was very nerve-wracking, very stressful. We all walked on eggshells all the time.
And after the show's DJ also said the same, BuzzFeed launched their own investigation, interviewing a further 11 former employees. They were fired after taking medical leave or bereavement days to attend family funerals. One employee who claimed she was fed up with comments about her race essentially walked off the job. Others said they were also instructed by their direct managers to not speak to DeGeneres if they saw her around around the office. After the accusations went viral, Ellen issued a statement within the company. Hey everybody, it's Ellen. On day one of our show, I told everyone in our first meeting that the Ellen DeGeneres show would be a place of happiness.
Dude. Her name is like so close to degenerate. That's crazy.
No one would ever raise their voice, and everyone would be treated with respect. Obviously, something changed, and I'm disappointed to learn that this has not been the case. And for that, I'm sorry. Anyone who knows me knows it's the opposite of what I believed and what I hoped for our show, yet Ellen's former producer certainly didn't buy it.
So when Ellen says she's not aware of this environment, you don't think that rings true?
It's a lie.
Ellen then took a 2-month break and began a brand new season by addressing the public.
As you may have heard, this summer there were allegations of a toxic work environment at our show. I learned that things happened here that never should have happened. I take that very seriously, and I want to say I am so sorry to the people who were affected. We have made the necessary changes, and today we are starting a new chapter.
She'd then make the promise.
And I'm
Guys, I just realized something. She kind of looks like Draco Malfoy.
committed to making this the best season that we have ever had.
Although the ratings said the opposite, because only 6 months later, the New York Times published Ellen DeGeneres loses 1 million viewers after apologies for toxic workplace. It explained that Ellen had been averaging 1.5 million viewers over the last 6 months, down from 2.6 million in the same period last year. The show's loss of more than 1 million viewers translates to a 43% decline, representing a steeper drop than any of its competitors. As a result, Ellen made the announcement.
Oh my gosh, she's wearing like green now. Oh my god, dude, Slytherin!
I am announcing that next season, season 19, is going to be my last season.
Adding in the Hollywood Reporter, as great as this show is, and as fun as it is, it's just not a challenge anymore. I need something new to challenge me, with her being exposed.
Scale of 1 to 10, how out of it am I? Like an 11.
Also clearly having an impact. She'd state the expose destroyed me, honestly. I'd be
Thanks for the
lying if
follow,
I said
Alana.
it didn't.
Thank you.
And it makes me really sad that there's so much joy out there from negativity. It's a culture now where there are just mean people, and it's so foreign to me that people get joy out of that. These mean people responded stating, even without the controversy, the show hasn't been fun and genuine for years. It may have never been, but at least it seemed like it. But Ellen is tired of it all, and she's lousy at hiding it now. No more dancing by her, no monologue half the time, bad jokes that are dragged out way too long, tons of old show clips, tons of self-promotion, and a guest host every Friday. These elements led to an average final season, which Ellen concluded by crying with her audience. She then mentioned the possibility of returning to acting, but instead made a documentary titled Saving the Gorillas: Ellen's Next Adventure. It released in 2023, but with only 100 reviews on IMDb, and this likely being the first time you've heard of it, it's safe to say it
I didn't know about this, and I freaking love monkey documentaries. They're like some of the best documentaries.
Ellen rather went back to living a quiet life until April 2024, when she'd make a new announcement. You may have heard that I'm doing stand-up again. If you want to come see me, I'll be sharing some news tomorrow at noon. As suggested, she'd announce a stand-up tour to be recorded and posted by Netflix.
Wait,
also
I can
adding,
watch this?
Yes, I'm going to talk about it, referring to her being cancelled. Titled For Your Approval, the special begins with Ellen walking up a flight of stairs, each referencing a headline that ruined her reputation. She acknowledges the tweet that started her downfall, as well as the employees who spoke out against her, then begins the actual show with a joke about her fall from grace.
You know, I used to say that I didn't.
You want to know the funny thing? Is her biggest mistake is that she apologized at the beginning of her show. She should have just not done that. Anytime you apologize for something, like you, dude, that's when it's over.
What other people thought of me. And I realize now, looking back, I said that at the height of my popularity. I'm here because I love doing stand-up, I miss doing stand-up, and I like making people happy, and I do care what people think.
Now, this is a pretty respectable angle, as it feels extremely honest. Yet it also seems like a sneaky request for pity, which as a high-profile celebrity you'll simply never get. She then talks about what she's been up to.
That's kind of what I mean, is like people don't really care.
All right, well, let me catch up on what's been going on with me since you saw me last. yeah, I got kicked out of show business.
Then makes some pretty funny jokes about her new reputation.
Everybody heard that I was mean. Everywhere I go, I know everyone's heard that I'm mean. I know when I walk into a restaurant, people are watching, waiting to see if I'll be mean. Oh, look, she's reaching for butter. I thought she was gonna hit somebody.
On the contrary, there are some pretty out-of-touch segments. For example, her joking about her car features, which you'd clearly only find in a luxury vehicle.
Then there's that one, that button that inflates the back of the seat. You know, the one that makes you feel like you're getting spooned by a pregnant woman.
She also makes this out-of-touch joke.
We're all interested in different things. We're all good at different things. I was talking to someone the other day, and they said, Ellen, I don't know how you get on stage in front of people. I could never do that. And I said, well, I don't know how you dry clean clothes.
Wait, what?
In front of people. I could never do that. And I said, well, I don't know how you dry clean clothes.
But as an overall, the special isn't terrible. Its audience rating of 5.4 stars feels fairly accurate, although as you might expect, simply because it's Ellen, the articles written about it have been pretty brutal. Ellen DeGeneres' unfunny Netflix special leaves so much unsaid. Ellen DeGeneres lets herself off the hook in self-indulgent Netflix special. Ellen DeGeneres is unapologetic, unrelatable, and totally insufferable in her new Netflix special. They'd write, the problem with For Your Approval, aside from the fact that it's almost never funny, is that it feels so disingenuous, so calculated to rehabilitate an image and preserve that triumph for prosperity.
I'm gonna be real with you guys. I literally know nothing about Ellen DeGeneres. I've never seen a single episode of that show. I don't even know when it airs, and I don't even know what it's about.
Another article stated it's one of the weirdest
I don't watch TV, really.
up shows in recent memory. Half observational punchlines, half closing argument in a trial, featuring DeGeneres as her own defense attorney. Neither
I haven't watched TV since they nuked Tucker.
half works on its own. Taken as a whole, it's an exhausting mess. They'd also add self-awareness is different from taking responsibility. DeGeneres offers no apologies or even explanations for her behavior, yet in other more favorable reviews, unapologetic was used as a positive. I like the fact that she's rather unapologetic. It's highly refreshing and honest. This extreme divide can be seen by the
Print Apocalypse says Rip Tucker. His new show is way better.
audience reviews on Google. There's almost an equal amount of 1 and 5-star ratings, a sad representation of the black and white thinking that plagues the internet so heavily today.
Yeah, it's like honestly, it's kind of hard for me to comment on this stuff because I don't even know who she is. Really, like even if she's like mean or whatever, like I don't really care, to be honest. I'm just the type of person, I don't really know much about like celebrities. I told this story before, but like I was working at BlizzCon one time for like a VIP line. All I had to do was like make sure that only like VIP people got in, and these like famous people came up and they were like, oh, like, can we get in? And I was like, can I see your passes? And they're like, oh, we don't have them right now. And I was like, yeah, but I need your passes. And they were like, oh, I'm like this person. And I was like, I don't know who that is. I think I was probably the perfect person to be at the VIP line because I didn't know anybody. So it was like I would only let people in if they had the passes. Yeah, you don't know who we are? Yeah, they were from like a show called like The Guild or something. I don't know. I didn't see it either, so I don't know what it is. It was like they were like some actors or something on some kind of like show. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. Perfect person for the job. Yeah. You know who was a badass though? Gaben. Actually, Gaben was a badass. Gaben had like a fuck ton of children with him. He had a fuck ton of children with him. And then he stood in the normal line. Like the normal ass line with like a bunch of like tiny children. And they asked him, they were like, oh, excuse me, Mr. Newell, you don't have to stand in line. Like we could get you through the VIP part. And he was like, no, I'm good. He just like stayed there. You just fuck it. You just stayed in line. And they were like, yo, you could skip the line. You're freaking Gaben. And he's like, no, I'm good. Yeah, dude, it was crazy. I still remember that to this day. I was like, damn, that guy's a badass. What the fuck?
You need to play Half-Life 2 and then watch the documentary Valve released for it.
I do
You'll respect
have
Garvin
to.
even more. Man is an absolute Giga C.
Yeah. Faith in humanity restored. Yeah, that's a true story. That was from BlizzCon a long time ago.